I say karate, but there's another name. Qua,
Krav Maga.
Krav
Krav
Maga.
Maga. Right. There's another name. And maybe, first of all, let us get some introductions. Our facilitator for this week's training here at the Anglican Schoolroom. Could you just pronounce your name first
Yeah,
properly?
my name is Goncalo. It's a C with a cedilla. I'm from Portugal.
Portugal. But you speak English pretty well.
Yes, I do. Me and my family, and my wife is also here. We've been traveling the world, both for work and for Krav Maga, in the last 16 years.
Wow.
So we've been Portugal, Spain, that is kind of right on the side, then Norway, then the UK. I've worked in Brazil, and then we started living in the US.
Well, that's a lot of traveling, but when did it all start for you? Did it start in your teenage years or later on in life?
Now, I did karate for many years. I was in the national karate team of Portugal for probably 20 years, and I fought around the world in the nationals, in the international World Cup, internationals, the European World Cup, um, and after my competition years, I said I want to learn more about self-defense,
Okay.
and because I was training with other, to be fair, very high level people in kickboxing, judo, Muay Thai, someone talked to me about there is this thing called Krav Maga. So we started traveling to France and training in France and coming back to Portugal. It's like a big trip, okay? And I started everything from scratch. So I'm a fourth dan in karate in Shotokai. I won many times the national championship and did all the internationalization from my country. And then Krav Maga came in. I started learning. I got in love with it because I'm an engineer. I'm a space engineer by profession, an industrial engineer. And Krav Maga appealed to me because of the mindset where we can make questions, and it's extremely logical how we teach self-defense to anyone, either your age, 45, correct?
No, you're a little off, but it's okay.
From your age to from everyone. So I wanted really to learn a system that would help anyone to learn how to defend themselves against either a punch, a strike, a kick, a gun threat, a knife attack. And unfortunately or not, Israel has perfected many of these part of the systems. So my background in karate was extremely helpful because of the discipline and concentration and focus, but the extremely narrow and highly dedicated approach from Krav Maga has been making wonders around the world.
Well, let me just find out because as a novice, as a layman, karate and Krav Maga, just tell us the difference. Is there a real difference?
I think you could look into this in the following way. When karate was brought in its origin from China to Japan and to across the world, it also brought a lot of the art of it, the perfection of the technique, the time that you need to spend in many different contents, and that is fantastic. Okay, Krav Maga has a different approach. There is this idea that we have, let's say, maximum 2 years to prepare you to go to war, because that's where it's founded. It's in the war. It's in places where you cannot stand on the ground because someone will shoot you. And Krav Maga says, okay, what is the minimal number of techniques or things that I need to learn to defend myself? And I don't need to be perfect. So, for example, I'm just talking about Krav Maga, but I can also talk about Krav Maga because I did karate many years. I would learn high block to the side, and in Krav Maga you have one block. Okay,
Oh, okay.
that is also related to one of our instincts, that is the flinch reflex, and this was Feldenkrais, the person that first had it. What does that mean? Means that we work with your instincts, because if I try to throw, see, he flinched a bit, and that flinching effect, and this, it's probably the start of something that I can strike from here.
Okay.
And everyone can learn this. Everyone, because it's already inside. So what we do is inoculate people with the potential risks. Either this is a punch, a grab, a pull of the knife,
Okay.
so that you, with a simple
Movement.
movement, a simple and gross movement, without any need. Well, it's better if you are fit, of course. But if you have extra weight, or if you are older than the others, or if you are younger, you should be able to have 2, 3, 5 seconds where you explode yes, strong in a technique, and you are able to get out of there, again, get out of there, call the police, and let the authorities do their work. So Krav Maga, that's the part of that's a technical side that I want you guys to think about. And another aspect is, if I'm in here in Gingerland, and I get here, and there is no cars parked in here, and I have my appointment at 9 a.m., and I get here at 8:30, and I see a car that I don't know, I'm not going to park my car in here. I'm going to go drive along, go to the supermarket, probably call the police, call my friends, instead of coming here alone and try to do something. So Krav Maga is also about the mindset of prevention, because if I see a car, in this case you guys use a lot of tinted windows, and unfortunately in the island just on the other side, I listen to the news, more gun shootings are happening, correct? So if the gun is over there, the gun can travel here, correct?
Lots of boats.
There are lots of boats. So this is, the mindset is,
Be prepared.
be prepared, be cautious, okay? And train.
Okay.
Because be prepared and be cautious, it's only effective if you train, okay? And I want to make that very clear. In the US, we're also traveling to very rough times, to be fair, where people in one way are,
Mass shootings.
there are mass shootings. The U.S. has there's the Second Amendment regarding guns. It's a decision. It's an ideological decision. We need to live with that. We need to live that. There is a possibility that someone at a certain point pulls out a gun. If the person is pulling out the gun at you, it means that he doesn't want to kill you.
Okay.
Because if he wanted to kill you, he steps 2 steps back and he shoots you. Because if you are seeing the gun, that's probably not a bad thing. You are still
Never looked at it that way.
okay? So if someone really wants to hurt you with a gun, he shoots you first. So let's think about that. In Krav Maga, we teach people how to defend against that type of threats later on in their path, okay? So I think that's the big distinction between, I would say, Krav Maga and the other martial arts is that the Israelis have isolated a minimal amount of techniques that can be learned by anyone in a class environment with a certified instructor, with respect for yourself, that allows you to defend yourself, but also your family. Okay, that's really important, because if something is happening to him, and you know Krav Maga, it's your responsibility to defend him.
Right.
So there are these things that come from a scenario, from a life where self-defense is not that, I'm going to say, that focused on the art aspect. Okay, so that would be the major difference.
I'm going to draw a scenario to you. As we mentioned, mass shootings. So I go to the United States, I go there on vacation, and I'm in one of these big shopping malls. And somebody lose a few screws, so they come in now and they're going to do a little shooting right in that mall. I'm there. I know a little bit about Krav Maga. What should I do?
Okay, so you can cut this next, but I'm going to give you an example of that, okay? Stay here, guys, okay? I'm going to pick up 2 persons and we'll do exactly the scenario, okay?
Okay.
You need me? Okay.
Okay, so we're going to look into a very common scenario. That is, imagine this, the victim, like you said.
In a mall,
supermarket.
shopping mall.
He's the victim. I'm going to ask Gavin that he's a Navisian, correct? He's the first karate black belt of the island, and because of our training, he brought me to the island, and you can learn more about him next, okay? Please do that.
Yeah, I did that already.
You already did
Yeah, I
that,
spoke
okay.
to Gavin already.
So Gavin will be the bad guy, okay? Come, Gavin.
So you have
And
the gun.
imagine that I learned Krav Maga, okay? And Gavin is in here.
So I'm.
He's like just he's there in the shooting, okay?
Yeah. Okay. That was quick. That was quick.
What we are doing is, as much as possible, because his focus is over there, and people get trained on this, I'm gonna go under, and deviate. Okay, you need to think of this. He might die. He might die. I might be responsible for someone dying. But he also might die like this, by doing nothing.
That's true. That's true.
So it's my responsibility, if I learn something, that if I hit him with a hard object, he might still shoot. So what I'm doing is
His guide is.
redirect him,
Yeah.
and again against him.
Okay.
And then from here,
You're protecting me.
protecting my partner.
Okay. Thank you so much. Wonderful demonstration. and that certainly saved my life. Just a quick finish. I noticed that what I've learned about karate and come back. What I've learned about karate and Krav Maga is that it's not necessarily an art to teach people to hurt others. It's more an art to teach people to protect themselves, not to because I have the ability to just go and hurt people. Am I getting the correct impression?
So I'm gonna give you the political the
Response.
political response. That is, yes, Krav Maga is about protecting yourself. But if you have the knife with you, if this is what's happening, and he has the knife as a threat, okay, I gave him my documents. I gave him everything. I gave him my, I'm at wallet. I'm at the Hamilton, and he asks my kids. I'm like, I've got my family there. You need to start thinking that. So you go first. So you need to establish the right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're gonna hit first in that instance. Yeah.
Yes, but it's only in very high risk situations where you need. Come here, Gavin, so that people see that you are okay, man. First of all, you should go first if the situation requires. And that's a mindset that needs to be trained.
Okay.
Be violent, be aggressive,
If the
and then
situation
requires. And then take that thing off. Become a regular person so that you don't like always be.
Yeah.
No, you do what is required
At the time.
at the time.
Got you.
It's like a suit, like you dress this because I'm at work.
Yeah.
I dress this because I'm at work. When I go to have food,
It's different.
I don't dress this. I'm not
Right,
going to go there with a
right,
groin guard. Come on.
right.
So the whole point is that in Krav Maga, we dress the suit that is appropriate to the occasion.
Got you. Okay.
And that's why you don't see, we see me and Gavin mostly either fighting or smiling. So
Okay. Well. As we wrap up this, Gavin, I spoke to you earlier. Could you just tell us how things have gone for the week? What progress has been made? What they have learned? How things are going?
Well, things are going great, man. The kids are actually having fun, and they're progressing really well. I think what we want from them is that they can bring a family member in as they train, because they're really learning and enjoying it, and I think that's the key for them to continue, right? Because it can be a boring thing. We can just come in and say, hey, punch, kick, and they can walk away like, oh, what did I learn today? But I think when you make it fun, they're like, hey, come with me, let's join this. So I think that's the biggest thing, just watching them just adapt this week.
So, how many persons in total up to this point?
Total, I think we have about 13. We had 2 that just showed up for like 1 or 2 days, which is good. At least they got to see that side of it. But we have about 12 that was like here every day so far. So it's been really good watching them progress.
And for your part as the chief facilitator, how have you blended with your group, and how are you like in Nevis?
I think Nevis, one thing I learned about Nevis, everyone is punctual, but plans change. But everyone is very welcoming. I've been learning a lot about the island. I've also been addressing them and saying that we've got more schools in Norway. We are a branch of also the Portuguese Federation of Krav Maga. I've opened the doors so that we've got technical counseling in Europe. So that means Portugal, also some of the African Portuguese language speaking countries. So it's opening up the doors for people to visit. So it's opening up the doors for people to go from Nevis to train in the US, to train in Portugal, to train in Norway, and also establish that very important diversity. I'm going to say diversity and inclusion, correct? Because I think that's critical in the environment that we are today. And to be fair, we've been very welcomed. I'm here with my family. My wife is coaching our to-be instructors so that they have a strong mindset. We are bringing the best of the world into Nevis. So I just hope we can help the island as much as possible to develop not only this side, but other sides.
And I hope you have had some of Nevis's finest mangoes.
Oh, Polymango.
That was the first one.
And what's the name of that fruit that you gave me?
Oh my goodness.
The one that you opened. Sarat?
Salsa.
Salsa. Oh man, really good.
You have had some
Yeah,
sauce.
salsa.
Yeah.
So I this has been I'm really thankful from the heart, grateful for all the work. And again, the people of Nevis have been training with us via Zoom. So if you don't believe in Zoom, believe it, because they've been training a lot, and now it's time for the immersion and tomorrow the exams.
Okay. All right. Well, all the best. Thank you very much for your assistance.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, so each one of the pairs in here are working different aspects of Krav Maga. The girls that you see in the middle are working some of the boxing skills that are important if you ever enter in a confrontation, okay? In this case, the jab, the cross, and the hook. So you also brought new materials in there that would allow them to work on their technique, okay? So the other examples are, and you'll see that Gavin is working and his partner with stick defense, learning about if a stick comes in, what should you do? If you see, say in this case it's a circular stick to the circular attack to the head. I would ask you guys to find more room, please, so that we can have a good sight onto you. Yeah. The two instructors over there, the ones that are coming in here, I think, I don't know what they are doing, but we'll just check it out. Okay, they are working on combos for potentially a street fight, okay, in this case jab, cross hook. And you'll see that one of the partners just showing up the targets with his hands so that the other can effectively put the techniques. They are not going that hard, but the point is to do many repetitions so that when things happen, you are able to strike. It's also important to see that they are moving, because the nature of a street fight is not static, it's dynamic, okay? Another thing that you'll see is that there are many times a kick to the groin. Many times. Why?
That hurts.
Because that hurts, and that allows you to get out of that situation, okay? That's one example of bare hands fight. You'll see also that the girl in the middle, and it's her first class today, okay? She's learning against a descending knife strike, or let's see the knife strike coming in, so she's trying to push it away so that we can make sure that we are not stabbed, okay? Again, knives are probably more dangerous than guns because everyone can get a knife. Everyone. A gun, you need some kind of licenses or some kind of thing, but that's not true for a knife. And anyone can go to your supermarket, sharpen a knife, and becomes a very hard weapon, okay? So we train against that as well. That's why you see that the blade is going to get pushed away, and at the same time she's going to hit his groin. And that's the instructors over here. Again, they are working simple techniques. In this case, the jab, maintain the distance for the jab and the cross. And think that also, these guys come from different backgrounds. They come from karate, from kung fu. So Krav Maga is able to adapt to anyone that wants to learn how to defend themselves. And that's the main premise. We don't want you here forever. We want you here enough time so that you can learn and protect yours. And we try to make things not only a combination of serious but also fun. Because I don't want anyone to take himself too seriously, okay? You need to be respectful because that's a knife. You need to be respectful because someone wants to attack you, but you need to be respectful of yourself as well. That is putting the repetitions in. And I think that's about it. Another thing that I would like to share with you guys is that, contrary to what you might think, Krav Maga requires work, okay? Requires discipline. Requires that you train probably every day, okay? 20 minutes. And if you come to Dexter's and the other instructors' classes, you'll get 2 classes a week, plus your own routine, and you'll get wealthy, okay? Because you will not be shot or attacked that easily, but you also get your own health getting better.
Nice. Thank you so much. Thanks a million.